Hi everyone, it's Roberta at the Animal Welfare Society, the Behavior and Training Department Administrative Manager and Certified Dog Trainer. So today, by the way, Happy New Year. Welcome to 2021. So let's just get started off with this new year with some just everyday great training holiday tips that you can start off right because they're easy and fun to do with your canine family member, that is. And they'll help keep your dog enriched and thinking during, if you're quarantining or just because it's winter and you can't get out very much to do too much activity outside because it's icy and cold. So let's start off with you can work on proofing your dog's behaviors that he may kind of know but isn't quite as, maybe his sit. A lot of dogs know sit really well. They can just sit on a dime for, if you have a treat out or they want something and you ask them to sit, they're just like, boop, got it, okay. But maybe there's some other things that they kind of know, like our touch game or a spin or backing up or a lay down that, they're kind of like, I guess, I don't do this very much. So instead of asking for a sit now, and we also call this our Say Please program for dogs, is you can ask them to say please or sit, or now you can turn it into something else. So before you give him his dinner, ask him to do a down or do a touch, or before you go out the door, do a wait or a back up or a spin, or just something else new. It will help enrich your dog, keep them interested, entertained, and it will help get these behaviors down better that maybe you've been wanting to work on but haven't. And you can easily just incorporate this in your daily life. So again, before they get on the couch, ask them for a down, before they go outside, before maybe they get their nice chew bone, before they run for a tennis ball, so it doesn't take any extra time that you have to set aside every day and do. If your dog hasn't know the behavior you're asking for, you will need to, so say he doesn't have absolutely no idea how to lay down, you've never tried it, you will need to take time every day, a little bit, just 5 minutes, and to try and teach him to do the down before you ask him for it in everyday situations. But just be creative, think of something that you can improve or build on or get better. There's also, you can start at home building more positive association with cues, such as, let's say, the come isn't always a dog's favorite thing to do, which it should be, but humans often use it not until they need it, and that's generally when the dog is maybe off and running away, and you're like, hey, come back here, or come back inside, it's time to stop playing, or come get out of that trash or something. So sometimes, we're not always, the fun may be ending when you ask them to come, or maybe you're a little annoyed because you asked them to come and they were way off there, so the dog's just like, I don't know, this come word isn't that fun. So let's take this time that you have at home and start making the word, or even other things they're not quite associated with, like maybe bath time or something. Start making it in a fun way. So say you have a bunch of people at home, they're sitting on their phones in different areas of the house or the living room. Give everyone a handful of treats at different times during the day and just ask each one to start calling the dog to come. So Susie will say, come, Rover. Rover comes over, he gets a treat. Peter over there says, come, Rover. Rover runs to that area of the room, gets a treat. And so Rover's just having a grand old time, just going from person to person to get a treat. And he's like, wow, okay, all I do is come to you and get a treat. That's great, I can do that. It's not always a bad thing to come. So we're building up that bank account. And what I mean when I say that is you're building up, every time he gets that happy feeling for coming and it's easy and it's fun, you're building a deposit in the bank account. So someday when maybe you don't have a treat and they have to come away from the fun, and you ask them to come, it's not going to be that big of a deal because you've already had so many times where it was good that they're not going to be like, I don't think she has a treat. They're going to be like, oh, chances are she probably does. Oh, she doesn't. Oh, well, she probably will next time. You can also work on your leash manners a little bit at home right now before it gets, nicer weather and you want to start going places with your dog. We'll start doing some work in the home right now, because if he doesn't walk well on a leash or listen to you in your house where he's used to, he's really not going to. It's going to be really hard when you go off to an exciting area and around people and other dogs. So practice, just put a leash on in the house and grab some treats, walk around, treat him when the leash is nice and loose and he's focusing on you, ask him to sit or down as you go around the table, go around the chair from room to room, and just make it fun. Again, use your treats, make it fun, add some tricks in as you go, and then that's great. He'll be on the right track to start adding a little bit more distractions when the weather gets good. So you can maybe start bringing it to your backyard or down the road a little bit. It's just good practice to start, and it will keep your dog entertained and stimulated, because believe me, it seems simple, but they love working with you. You can even go to, if you search the internet for Rally, R-A-L-L-Y for dogs, you can find it on the AKC website too. It's great ideas for doing more activities that include with your walking or healing. Like, just check it out. It's fun. You can print signs if you want for sit and down, or sit in front of you, or walk behind you, or different things like that. If you really want to get some more ideas, if you're getting bored, it's fun. And your relationship's going to grow. Eventually, you're going to see that your communication is building with your dog, because you're doing all this work with them in your house when you're both comfortable and it's having fun. And so the pressure is off a little bit. So compared to if you were in a class or out amongst people, you're not as stressed. You can mess up in your house with a trick or a command or something and you not feel so bad, because it's like, we're home, whatever. We're just having fun and working. So try those out. The one other thing I'm going to talk about briefly is we had a question this week about a dog's leash reactivity. And this is what generally happens. It looks like, and it's most of the time it's between dogs and dogs when they see each other while walking on a leash. Even dogs who love to play and are friendly with other dogs, maybe once you put that leash on, all of a sudden they turn into a lunatic. But it can be with people and other things like skateboards or something. So some reactivity while you're walking. They're pulling, lunging, barking while you're walking. And that can be very, very frustrating, even though it's a very common problem we see and embarrassing for the owners. So it stems from a lot of things. Basically, your dog is frustrated. It can be excited or anxious or overstimulated or scared. And it's just building this frustration, and it comes out in that way. And they really just kind of need some help putting themselves together with some training and management. So I'll just give you my first step, probably most people's first step when giving advice for this, is to start with some management of the issue. Basically trying to, as much as possible, avoid that situation so your dog isn't practicing, getting worked up every single day, because that's going to be a lot on him too. He's going to get that adrenaline rush and feel stressed out every day, so that's not fun. So it's a predictable behavior. You're going to go out, he's probably going to bark at someone. So try and time your walks, maybe a less busy time where you're not going to have as many neighbors out, so maybe early in the morning, later at night. Maybe drive to an area that doesn't have so many people, or walk in an area that you know is going to be not so crazy. But give your dog some nice, enjoyable walks where neither one of you are stressing out, and just manage your walks that way. And if you're out and you do see something, get as much distance as possible that your dog's going to be comfortable. So somewhere a distance, maybe a few feet. It could be like several blocks down the road before your dog can calm down and pay attention to you. But give them more distance, because that'll make them feel better and it'll be easier to get their attention. And you can even use everyday objects while you're walking, like if there's a parked car or tree or something, you can go behind those. That will help your dog reset. But just don't let them stand there and bark and bark and bark. Just hightail it the other way and be like, oh, sorry, we gotta go. And this will get them starting to get used to not always being, they are probably worried now when they go on a walk with you every day, because this is going to happen. So we'll practice them getting not practicing this reactive behavior, and then you can start doing some training or counter conditioning. And if you'd like to know more about that and work on some of those, then I think a private consult with one of us here at the AWS would be perfect. Just go to our website under training, private consults, and fill that out, and we can get started. Because every dog has different complexities and reasons and levels to their activity. So we really need to kind of do a private consult would be your best bet. You can also email us at training@animalwelfaresociety.org, and I'm going to go get a dog out right now and show you some really, really easy stuff that I kind of talked about earlier, but it's going to probably be even simplified even further because Holly, our shelter dog, has never been in this room or worked with me, so she's going to be super excited. But hi everyone, this is Holly. She's exploring. She's a brand new shelter dog. We've only just met today, and she knows sit. I figured out, but I'm not sure how much she knows, and you know, this is a new place for her. So we'll just try and have some fun and do a few activities I can show you that you could possibly replicate around your home. I do have a jump here, but you can always use something to make your own kind of jump, like a wrapping paper roll or broomstick or something on some books. And it's just really fun for your dogs to, Holly, girl, have a new obstacle, jump, good girl, to learn and get some confidence around. And since she knows sit, I could even ask her, Holly, good girl, sit. Good girl to sit first, and then I can ask her to jump. Throw the treat over there. Good girl. And when we first met, you didn't see this part earlier, and I'm just going to ignore her jumping because she's very interested in the treats. Sit. She's sitting a lot more quickly now for me because I've been trying to, because she's starting to realize that jumping up doesn't get her anything, but a sit will get her a treat. Good girl. And I am trying to give them to her on the floor because to discourage the jumping up at my hand for the treat as well, although she does have a very soft mouth taking it as well. Good girl. And so at home, you can always practice. Put your leash on your dog. If your dog may be a cuckoo head like Holly is. She's so excited. I know. You're okay. And just walk with your leash and some treats. Good. Around your house. Every once in a while, have them stop and sit. You sit. Good girl. And then you can also go have your dog jump. Right there, puppy. You missed it. You can circle around objects, your coffee table or chairs. Good girl. If you do have some cardboard boxes, you could even practice. And she's fearless. You know, your dog going into a box. Good. Just as another fun trick. You could practice if your dog is really good at sit. Well, how about asking them to sit while you're sitting? It's a little different. So I might even ask her to sit first. Good girl, sit. And then I'm going to sit. I might even hold her collar a little bit to help her. Sit. Good. So this is a little harder because I'm not as tall and I'm sitting down, so that might be inviting her to come up and say hi closer. So she's actually doing really good staying over there. Good job. Here's some treats. And then I can get up. Good girl. I can throw in maybe a touch. I know you're so excited. Good girl. Good. And just doing these things around your home is going to help your dog. And again, and she's so new, so this is very exciting. It'd be a little easier if it was in a place that she was used to and comfortable, and she had a chance to kind of get her energy out, but she was having fun regardless, and we were bonding and communicating with each other and having a good time. And just doing a few things. And this can also help tire your dog out because they're using their brain a lot. They're trying to figure out what's going on. And I'm just going around, in, out, over different objects. So use that for some fun indoor winter/quarantine activities with your dog. We'll see you next week.